Mission.
Hi, this is Joel Persinger. I'm the Gun Guy. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Now, I've got some very serious stuff to talk about with you, and I'm probably going to say some things that are politically incorrect, and that's okay. So if you've got your politically correct buttons all over you and you're going to go batty, just be prepared to go batty. All right, first and foremost, I've gotten a lot of questions from people about different pieces of equipment. This video is about the 300 Blackout, but hang in there. But I've gotten some questions about different pieces of equipment since the Texas church shooting, and a number of people have asked me, should you have body armor as an honest, law-abiding gun owner? Yes. The bad guys, in case you haven't noticed, more and more are wearing body armor. Should you have body armor? Sure. Had the guy in Texas who was the hero of the whole day, and this is no criticism at all of him, but had he had mags already loaded, and he had body armor hanging around someplace, he could have thrown a vest on, grabbed a mag gun out the door, and he would have been safer. Now, who knew that somebody would shoot up a little church in a town of 400 people? I don't blame him for not having all that stuff ready, but in 2020 hindsight, which is always perfect, it would have been cool for him to have some mags ready and the gun ready and have some body armor laying around that he could grab quickly, throw on, and go. So should you have body armor? Yes. Do I practice what I teach? Yes. Okay, let's put that away. All right, here's the other thing is, and this is going to be very politically incorrect. As a firearms instructor for the last, I don't know, forever, and having taken an awful lot of instructor courses and firearms courses and like that, I routinely hear, and I have found myself say, the following. If you have to shoot somebody in self-defense, you got to shoot a bad guy who's trying to hurt you. You're not trying to kill that person, you're trying to stop the violence. Well, that's politically correct, and that's where that came from. So let me just clarify it for you. If someone is trying to kill me, or trying to kill a member of my family, or someone I love, or somebody I care about, and I have to shoot that bad guy because he's trying to kill someone I care about or me, I want to shoot him dead. In fact, I would like to have a gun that's big enough that if I hit him anywhere from the belt buckle up, he hits the ground dead. And if he doesn't hit the ground dead, he hits the ground so completely and utterly incapacitated that not only does he not want to fight with me anymore, he does not have the capability of doing so. So there it is. That's politically incorrect, but that's the goal. If you don't have the mindset to kill that other guy, then he's probably going to kill you, or she, or whoever it is, the bad person, the evil person, the one that's attacking you. So with that in mind, I have talked a lot about always guns. We're going to get to 300 Blackout in a minute. And I do always carry this little 38 caliber revolver. And I like it a lot because it's light and handy, and no matter where I'm going, I always have a gun. Is it the best gun to fight with? No. If I shoot a bad guy, are the chances going to be that he's going to hit the ground dead with the first shot? No. But it's better than not having a gun at all, and as long as I'm just going through my daily routine, this is generally the gun that I carry. Now, if I feel like I'm going to be in a more dangerous situation, slightly more dangerous, I'm probably going to carry a bigger gun, like this 40 caliber subcompact, or this full-size 40 or something along those lines. So now we get to 300 Blackout. Now that you understand my thinking. I live in California where I'm limited to 10-round magazines in anything. Here's a 10-round mag. Now this looks like a 30, but it's not. It only has 10 round. No, it's a plug in it or whatever. It's just got a nice thing you can grab to make sure you get the mag out. That's why I like them, in case the mag gets stuck. But it's a 10-round mag. We're limited to 10-round mags. Handgun, rifle, doesn't matter. If you're going to limit me to 10-round mags, then I want to put the biggest bullet in that magazine that I can put in it. So I have opted for various different things. As a California fighting rifle, if I want to have to fight with anybody, if I shoot the guy, I want him to hit the ground dead the first time. Here you go. In California, only 10 rounds available to me. This is probably going to be my choice because it shoots those. And ask any World War II vet or anybody that's ever served with these stupid things, a 30-06, yeah, they're going to hit the ground dead. If they're not dead, they're wishing they were, okay? But the problem is, I live in suburbia. And yes, it doesn't have 10 rounds, it only has 8, but they're 8 whoppers. But again, I live in suburbia. This is going to go through every wall of my house and probably into my neighbor's house or whatever. I mean, I haven't tested it. My neighbors wouldn't appreciate it if I did, so I didn't. But I'm just assuming that it's way too much penetration for the area in which I live. So that's not going to work, although it's, it's fun to play with, and I love shooting it, and it's one of my favorite, actually, I think it may be my favorite rifle. But it just isn't practical for that use. So for home defense, I've chosen this. which is my Mossberg 500 12 gauge, and I've got it decked out for home defense, and I've had it as my home defense gun for a long time because it's a 12 gauge, double-aught buck, or number 4 buck, or whatever, or if you live in an area where you can do it, slugs. Again, that'd go through my whole house and to my neighbor's house, so I wouldn't use them. But nevertheless, it's a devastating tool. And you can say, well, yeah, but what if the bad guy's wearing armor, like I just showed you? All right, well, I'm a bird hunter. I hunt ducks, pheasants, chukar, quail, doves, you name it. If I can hit an itty-bitty little dove screaming across the sky at 40 miles an hour, jinking and moving, trying to get away, and out of 11 or 12 shots I can get my limit of 10, then I can certainly knock a bad guy's head off his shoulders if he's running down my hall or walking across my living room. So wear all the armor you want, bad guy. It ain't gonna save you from me in this. The problem is, this thing kicks like a mule. And my wife doesn't like to shoot it as a result. So that's not gonna work for her. It works great for me as a home defense gun. Perfect. I like it. I got enough shots and a side saddle here. I know how to run the gun. After all, I'm a law enforcement instructor and patrol shotgun. So I know how to run the gun, okay? I run it really, really well. And I've taken a lot of law enforcement courses with it, and I know how to run the thing. So it's a really good gun choice for me, but not for my wife. She doesn't like it. And she's got a little 20 gauge. She hardly ever likes to shoot. So I started looking at intermediate rifles. I thought, okay, what about, instead of the 5.56, which, by the way, what got me started on this was the guy who went to save the day in Texas reportedly shot the shooter, the bad guy, twice with a 5.56 by all reports. And the dude drove 11 miles before he gassed out and crashed into something. And it wasn't the car that gassed out, it was him. He bled out or whatever. 11 miles? That dude can fight with you for a long time if shot with this, apparently. And I've heard this from police officers and veterans that the same thing. Depending on where they're hit, they're still fighting with you for a while. No, 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 no. I want the guy to hit the ground dead after the first round or two. I don't want him standing there fighting with me anymore. So a little bigger round is attractive to me, so I started looking at the 7.62 by 39, and I thought, well, maybe my wife will like this Sega AK that I really like. This is my... In the area where I live, if I had to use a defensive rifle, truthfully, I'd leave the ARs and the Mini 14, which I really like, and everything else, sitting someplace else, and this is the one I'd grab because it's ultra ridiculously reliable. It's very accurate out to 200 yards, which is farther than I'm ever going to need to shoot, and it shoots a 30 caliber round, which will punch through block walls and all kinds of other stuff, and that's what I want. However, it's heavier, and my wife doesn't know how to run it that well, and she really doesn't like it. Okay, so I'm like, well, what does she like? What she likes is the AR-15 platform, and that's what got me looking at the 300 Blackout. So I talked to a buddy of mine who just mentioned it in passing, and he showed up at the range one day, and he had this 300 Blackout upper, and he said, I built you one, basically, and he handed it to me. He said, take it home. I said, really? He said, yeah. So this was actually provided to me by Dennis, a buddy of mine at the range, and I'm very, very grateful. So Dennis, if you're watching the video, thank you for this. And I started looking at 300 Blackout as the answer to the question, what could my wife shoot that would actually solve this problem? When I took it to the range, my goal was not to see whether it would shoot suppressed or whether it would shoot accurately or any of those things, because in California I can't have a suppressor anyway. Even if they become completely legal throughout the United States, California has outlawed them as a destructive device. That's kind of idiotic, but that's what they've done. So I can't worry about that where 300 Blackout is concerned. What I wanted to know was this thing going to shoot easily and recoil lightly for my wife? That was the big deal. Was the recoil about the same as what she gets out of her AR shooting 5.56? And I shot it a lot, and it ran flawlessly. I mean, when Dennis builds an upper, he doesn't mess around. It really runs really, really well. And I did find that it was very, very accurate at self-defense distances that we would use it at. So I'm very pleased with it, and the recoil on it was about the same. It might have been a little bit more, but not enough to really worry about. And the gun is relatively light. So this seemed to be the appropriate self-defense rifle for my wife because, unlike the AK, she knows where, she doesn't have to figure out where the mag release is. She doesn't have to figure out where the bolt catch is. She doesn't have to figure out where the charging handle is. She knows all of that stuff. And when we go to a class at front sight, what does she take? Well, she takes an AR. Not this one, obviously. This is the 300 Blackout. Now, what I did is I took this upper and I put it on an Elemental Arms lower so that I could retain my adjustable stock for her, knowing that as basically a house defense gun, the fact is, whatever's going to be settled is probably going to be settled with what's in the mag. She's only got 10 rounds. Remember, we've got these 10-round mags. Like I said, it looks like a 30, but it's not. It only holds 10. And if she's got 10 rounds of 300 Blackout, that's going to hit a lot harder than the 10 rounds of 5.56, and she's going to get a little bit more of the job done. And that's one of the things that was important to me, is making sure that my wife can get the job done and get it done quickly. Now, you know, with this kind of a rifle, with the Elemental Arms rifle, you can change the mag fairly quickly. You just have to push the back button first, let this rotate up, drop it, get your new mag, insert it, and rack the bolt, and off you go. So it can be done, but my thinking is, if, you know, she runs out of ammo, or if she gets a double feed, because in these kind of rifles, forget it, you're not going to solve the problem. Then it's called drop the rifle, set it down, whatever, transition to your handgun, which she shoots really well, and now she's got something else. So it's not as if this would be the only gun available to her, but it's nice to have a long arm that hits a little harder, because when you look at the 300 Blackout, it's basically very similar ballistics from all the charts I've looked at to the 7.62 by 39, as long as you've got the supersonic ones. But in the house, I don't know if I want the supersonic, because I don't want it to go through a bunch of walls and end up in my neighbor's house. So the subsonic round might be better, and now you've got essentially a 30 caliber round. It's almost like a pistol caliber carbine. So it's not going to go through the whole house, but it's still going to hit really hard, and it's going to hit harder than the 5.56. So it seems like a really good balance to me, and I'm very, very happy with the idea. Now I got to get her out to the range to shoot it and see what she thinks. Here's the one bugaboo about it, and this is it. The one bugaboo is that this will still chamber in a barrel and upper made for this. Now, people will say it doesn't because the neck will catch on it. Yeah, that's baloney, okay? Don't try this at home. Don't put a live 300 Blackout round in a 5.56 upper. Don't do it, because it will chamber more than likely, and when you press the trigger, the hammer will fall and it will hit the primer and you will blow up the gun. So knowing that we have 5.56 rifles, it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we really are scrupulous about knowing where these suckers are and that they're labeled appropriately. And I think the other thing is that, you know, I was talking with my wife about it this morning, is that when we go shoot a 300 Blackout rifle, we're not taking any 5.56 guns with us at all. Nothing. It's either going to be we have things chambered in 5.56, or we have things chambered in 300 Blackout, but we're not mixing and matching. We're not going to have multiple mags loaded with different kinds of ammunition sitting on the bench where you can easily grab the wrong mag, stick it in the wrong rifle, and blow the thing up in your face. So you have to be really, really careful about that. Other than that, the ammo selection is outstanding, and it strikes me as a really good self-defense round or home defense round for my wife. And I got to tell you, with the supersonics in particular, had the guy in Texas been shooting these instead of these, which is my understanding is what he was shooting, I have a feeling that when he shot that guy and hit him dead and hit him twice, that madman that shot up that church, that dude would have hit the ground dead right there. And I don't care how politically correct we get about it. When somebody's trying to hurt you or someone you care about, that's what you're looking to achieve. That's the result you want. You want that guy to hit the ground when you shoot him and not get back up. And if that means he's dead or he's so incapacitated he can't fight anymore, either way, bueno. The proper procedure is get a round or two on him so that he can't get back up. And when you're in a state where you're limited to 10 rounds and they make your rifle goofy, so you have to do goofy stuff to change the mag, then as far as I'm concerned, make those rounds as big as you can practically make them given the situation that you're fighting in. Now, honestly, if we were in a very rural setting where penetration was not the issue because my nearest neighbor was 5 miles away, and I knew everybody was in the room, and I'm half deaf anyway, doesn't matter. 8 of these would be my choice, because I don't care about penetration at that point. What I want to do is hit the bad guy with the biggest thing I got. Or maybe loading the shotgun with these, slug, rather than double-aught buck would be my choice. But in an urban area or a suburban area, like I said, I live in the burbs, that's just not going to make any sense. It puts a lot of people in danger. The other thing is, I really think if you hit somebody in armor, it seems to me, just from what I read, if you hit armor with a 7.62 by 39 or a 300 Blackout, particularly the supersonic ones, it just hits harder. There's a mystery thing about Hollywood where if you get hit in the armor, you just pop right up like you're okay and like that. It doesn't work that way. If you're hit hard and you're wearing soft body armor, you're probably going to have internal bleeding and you're going to be a mess. I mean, you don't have a puncture wound, probably, and you have a greater chance of surviving because you don't have the primary and secondary cavitation, but that doesn't mean that you're in good shape either. I mean, if you get hit with a rifle round and you're wearing armor, and even if it doesn't penetrate, it's still going to hurt. You get hit by a 40 caliber pistol round or 45 or 357 Magnum or something like that, and you're wearing armor, it's still going to thump the tar out of you. So I have a feeling that something like this is going to be very powerful in that regard. So that's my thinking about 300 Blackout. You may think I'm completely and utterly whacked and say, come on, gun guy, you're kooks. You're a kook. All right, well, if you think I'm a kook, please tell me. If you think I'm on the right track here, please tell me. I've got to the point where I think I really like the 300 Blackout as a defensive round because of the variety of ammunition and because it's 30 caliber and because I'm in a state that limits the tar out of me in every other respect. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you wouldn't mind, help us out on Patreon. Join Patreon. It'll cost you as little as $1 a month, and it does help us tremendously since we get zero, pretty much, or very, very darn little out of advertising from YouTube, and it does help keep the channel going. You can also shop on Amazon using our link, and all you have to do is go to our website like you're seeing on the screen, click on that link, and everything for Patreon remains the same for you. Costs you not one dime more. It's just an extra step, and anything you buy at Amazon, we get a little commission for, so that will help us too. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday. Thank you very much for watching, and please be safe.